Hi. So, Old Fortune and Jeopardy are done, and I'm going to work on my fireworks display, show, whatever you want to call it. But there's one problem. I need to go upstairs. And I thought, it's supposed to be streaming the whole time, um, so let's go down. Let's go to Disney World, and, one of these days I need to, like, make um, a road. So it looks like we actually are going to Florida. It would be pretty hard to go to Florida from Ireland, but um, anyway, that's the idea. There's somebody yelling at somebody outside. Um, or a dog. If it's a dog, it's their fault. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you to watch the fireworks display, and um, I'm gonna go upstairs. Um, there we go. And then, what was it? This. So that was weird. There was no sound. Hmm. Yeah, template world options are locked to the values set by this template's creator. And it had music before. What? Oh. I don't think that this is for the, just for this world, though. But it didn't even have the text-to-speech thing. Ah. Okay, before we leave, let's try this again. It's never done that to me before.
Fireworks will begin shortly. All players not at an attraction will be teleported to Cinderella's castle. The fireworks show will begin very soon. Make sure you have a good view of Cinderella's castle.
I love that fireworks display. It is awesome. I think they have a little dance routine that they do too. Of course, I'd have to have Fillmore Wondershare back to make that secret passageway any good. Okay. Bobby, it doesn't matter how many times you crash into it, it's not going to open. One, two, three, four. Yeah. That's better. Okay. So, one, two, three, four. Okay. And then this is one, two, three, four, five. So, oh, I was being silly. Okay. Oh, I don't have that. Hold on. Show you a trick you can do. It's kind of neat. Besides that, you can use a daylight sensor so they're just on. That's so cool. Hey. No, the thing I want isn't here. Oh, maybe the thing I want is in here. No. Fine. I have to go looking for the thing I want. Actually, yeah, I could do it this way too. Okay, now, so I can use it next time. No, here. Yeah. Um, and you can literally make this as complicated as you want. One yellow, one purple. I love that. That's not what I meant. Why is... Oh. Okay, what other color was I looking for? Blue. I think that got put in here. Now, that one's filling up. That one's filled up. One more. Dang it. Um, uh-oh. Now, we've set up the ridiculousness. Now, think I'll turn that off. One, two, three, four, five, six. Oh boy. Fun. Fun, fun, fun! Now, you get extra special brownie points if you know what that's from. I think most people will not get that one. The only hint I will give you is that it was on DVD. I think my cat is in there trying to wake up his daddy. Um, it's the weekend, so he gets to sleep in. So yesterday, turns out that my husband uh, locked Sam in the bedroom. So then um, Ben was going, Mom, 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 Mom. I didn't know he knew how to say mom. But he's like, Mom, 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 Mom. And I'm like, You trying to find Sam? So I was saying Sam, but he was very determined. He was saying Mom. Okay, so good. Um, but I didn't follow him because it happened while I was streaming, I think. Or I was just being very insensitive and lost in my own little world. Not sure which. But anyway, finally I went up there and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I haven't seen Sam in a long time. And yeah, he was meow, 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 meow. They don't actually say meow, but I mean Sam does, but that's just because his daddy taught him not to say it. And it's actually hilarious when he says it because cats don't meow. They kind of like meow, kind of thing. Um, I don't like to talk in cat words very often because what if I'm like saying something aggressive? I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I mean, whatever I said could mean, you know, we're at war for all I know. Um, I don't think so because they say it all the time. Okay. So that's all set up. I wanted to do all the way to the school and get the school stuff figured out and then go all the way back over there again. What? There was something lit up over here. Maybe it was that, and it just looked like it was lit up over there. But yeah, that's what it was. Okay. Optical illusion. Or as I sometimes like to say, optical delusion. Or is it optical delusion, and I like to call it an optical illusion. I think illusion is correct, and I say delusion sometimes. I don't know. Yeah, I think we need some light. And a little more light than that. I don't know what the game was thinking, but it's like, you don't need that much light. Nah. Okay, so that was 5. So is this supposed to be 6? Yes, it's supposed to be 6. So that's supposed to be 7. Unless we went back down to 5. What do we got here? We got 5. You've got mail. Not trying to get myself in trouble there. It just reminded me. Um, Way back when, the internet wasn't as instant as it is now. You know, you clicked a button to do something, and you had to wait like 5 minutes. If you were that lucky. And, you know, kids would be saying, "Are we there yet?" It was funny. It actually had, you know, like a commercial and everything. Um, well, what the commercial was specifically is, um, I think it was the DSL people had, um, you know, like DSL versus AOL or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just checking. Okay. Um. Anyway, it was something like that. You know, like they were showing that, you know, with the other people, it's, "Are we there yet?" And you know, like they went into the kitchen, made a sandwich, came back, ate it, and it still wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. And I am so sorry if your internet is like that at all. Wish I could help you fix it. You know, they say if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. But I am thinking some wishes turn into reality. I mean, if it hadn't been for wishes, hopes, dreams, we wouldn't have the internet. We wouldn't have um, comfortable beds was the next thing that came to mind. We wouldn't have well, it's all Newton's fault, I think, or you know, partly Newton's fault that we have science class. See, I think by the time you get to high school, you kind of know what you want. I mean, you may kind of know what you want to do in your life. And you don't necessarily need science to get through life. You don't necessarily need, well, I want to say you don't necessarily need history. But on the other hand, you don't want to repeat the same things that happened, um, before. Because, like I think the Civil War, Revolutionary War, one of those two, started out, you know, I didn't pay as much of attention as I should have. So if I get this wrong, please let me know nicely. But I'm pretty sure one of those wars started because of the fact that certain people were saying, let's have slaves. And then the other guys were saying, no, they're people. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm right on that one, but it sounds good. And then, so we don't want to, I mean, we want to learn from that mistake and not have slaves anymore. But I think there's still a group out there that are like, let's have slaves. And I don't think that's okay at all whatsoever. One, two, four, five. Now, what were the colors? Lime. Oh, lime white, lime white, lime. Okay. Yeah. So I've got an hour and 10 minutes to try to get to the high school. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to sure try. And if not, I will finish up after stream. Oh, so I found out something yesterday, and I was really, really happy about that. Um, one, I had, um, or, one, I needed to get Nor Mansion to play as Mr. Green, which I thought was crazy. Oh my goodness. Because it turns out that you can get um in-game points, in-game achievement things to I guess help yourself unlock other things. I'm not sure what it does, but it's still fun. So anyway, you play as Scarlet. Well, with Scarlet, you needed the 2016 Suspect Pack. So that was only $7.99. That was really good. I had some money left over from my um, had some money left over from when we bought me Game Pass. And then I don't know how I had it. Oh, okay, so to buy the the suspect pack, I had to have like $1.10 more or something like that. So I traded in my Xbox points for a $10 gift card. So then I had $8 and something left over, and I didn't realize it. So I was like really super happy because the Nor Mansion one was $7.99. So so I was able to do. I was able to get both of those. Well, I got Scarlet first, and then and then last night like I said, I found out that I had enough points. So I'm like, okay, that's what I'm gonna spend my uh money on is to get green. Be able to play as green. The Norm Mansion one. It ended up that um he's con artist green. So I thought that was interesting. And Scarlet's not in it. There's a different character named Orchid. And it was funny because she was innocent. She's been innocent ever since I got her. And then I think yesterday was the first time that she was actually it. She was the one that was causing the trouble. So, it's only happened once so far, but it was still really cool because all of a sudden. But it took over 2 hours to do all of the different parts. And like I start playing that game and I'm like so happy that I'm able to play Clue that I don't stop and go, okay, I got this achievement done. Let's do the next one. What I should have done is made one where it's 5 through 15. And, not 5 through 15, 1 through 5. So it says 5 of 15. And then make the next one where it says um, up to 10. And so it's 10 out of 15. And then, and so far, and so on and so forth, or however you say that. Anyway, yeah, so on and so forth. I don't know, so normal sayings that you would say like every day, just sometimes sound foreign all of a sudden. They don't sound right. And then you're like, but that is right. So I know that, sometimes more is less, but I'm kind of thinking that for the grand finale, I want it bigger. I like the way it was last year, but it was taking up a lot of computing power. Okay, so we want two over here. So I was just thinking, um, if I made enough on, enough money from my books, and um, if I made enough money from my books, and um, if I got monetization, then um, I could donate, like a whole semi truck's worth of food to the food bank. It would be bought at several different stores, to make sure that the, um, to make sure that the stores still had enough to fulfill the normal needs. But I mean, like, my husband would probably be like, "Where are you going today?" "Oh, Susanville." I would definitely have to get dry goods at Susanville because that's like halfway to Reading. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if over there by the over there in front of the hotel actually works the way it's supposed to. We'll find out. Oh boy, that's fun. Okay, so I'm thinking if I put this one here. Oh, and then put that one there. Yeah, then we still have the problem child of the other one. Okay, I'm having a slight conundrum here. A slight question. A confusion. I I know that the red is representing the people. Hold on, what's this? Oh, I get it. Okay. Anyway, the red is representing the bloodshed, and then the white is representing the innocent people. But I don't remember what the blue represents. Oh, unless it's like the color of the uniform. Because I know that, like, there was people that were wearing some color. I want to say blue. And then there was other people, and they were wearing gray. So, I didn't pay that much of attention. Enough to pass the class in classes that I didn't like that much. Like history. Okay, I'm not gonna be. Well, then I guess we can put that there. Anyway, I'm not gonna be in a war unless all of a sudden. I'm not gonna be fighting in a war unless all of a sudden they um, start up the draft again, and on top of that, take people who are totally falling apart, knees, ankles, wrists, fingers, all that stuff. Which I don't see them doing. So, anyway, I don't see them doing anything like that anytime soon, so I mean, they might start the draft up again because um at one point there just wasn't enough recruits. People that wanted to that wanted to join the military and maybe fight in a war. There just wasn't enough. So they had to have that. And I was a little scared because my husband was still in the age range that it would have been perfectly fine for them to grab him. And I don't even remember what that was. I was a little worried, and I was a little worried during Desert Storm because, well, I think no, we were still in high school, but I was still a little worried. But you know what would help? Yeah, that. Anyway, hopefully I will get to the high school and we can try to figure some things out. Um, I went I went to the high school recently um, and worked on the fireworks or looked at the fireworks. I didn't really work. Well, yeah, I think I worked on them too, but mostly I looked at them and they seemed to be okay. So I think they're a little too wide. They weren't actually meant to be that wide, but okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, I have a small problem. I'm hungry, but it's not 11 yet. Oh, I got another chapter done. I got chapter 42 done, and I'm now working on chapter 43. Um, I didn't know what to name it that wouldn't give it away. I don't want the chapter to be totally like, oh yeah, that's where Mrs. Fairfax talks a lot, or Sophie talks to hats, or um, I'm using Howl's Moving Castle um chapters. I don't know if that's what the Mrs. Fairfax chapter actually says, but there is a chapter. Um, she's described as like when she gets talking, she's described as it's like when you're playing jump rope and you have to jump in at just the right time, kind of thing. Because she talks a lot. And anyway, I don't think that's what that one was actually called, but there was one. I'm pretty sure there's one in there where they will go and actually talk to her. Okay, so I haven't read that book in a really long time and I love it, but I like it better on audio. Um, I'm just like, you know, too. Oh, wait, this is a one. I don't need that. Okay. Anyway, that would be better. Oh, there's no trees over there. Never mind. Okay. But anyway, I like it on audio better. But the only problem is that you can either get it on audio tape, and then what are you supposed to do with that? Because there's not too many players out there. Or you can get it on what's called a playaway. It's a MP3 player that only plays the one story. But the problem is that they don't always, um, like if you take the battery out and put it back in, or replace the batteries because they died. It doesn't retain where you were necessarily, or at least the ones at the library didn't. So like if you got all the way to chapter 14, let's say, you may not be at chapter 14 when you come back. And then, if the battery only lasts until chapter 14 again, then you're like, what the heck? Um, that's another thing I would like to get. I would like to be able to get Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on audiobook like that. Um, you know, I'm one of those people that reads what I want to read. And, like, I didn't know Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was a book when I was a kid. I knew it as Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the movie with Gene Wilder. And so, that was one of my favorite movies, but um but now it's like, okay, this isn't even in the book. Why did they do that? That's what's coming to mind there. But I think the reason why they did that is because they didn't know to follow the book, or they were like trying to keep within copyright. So, yeah. Um, I thought it was very interesting today because, when we went on um the Disney World, it didn't play the music, and I'm like, what the heck? I've never had the music on before. Anytime that you've heard that fireworks display, or heard, I mean, I don't know if you all can hear him when he says, everybody will get transported to the to Cinderella's castle. Um, I have, never had to have the sound on for that. I've never had to change my settings. And then today it did. And I'm like, what the heck? Um, because usually it says you have opted out of copyright sounds and, like that. But it usually has, like the background sounds and all that stuff. So I'll just have to remember that next time. Turn up the thing. Turn up the sounds. Okay. So this is the elementary school. It's based on the elementary school that I went to after we moved to Fairfield. Um, I wanted to base it on the one that I went to in Suisun, but I couldn't because it I couldn't remember it enough. I went there for 4 years, but I couldn't remember it enough. But I only went to Cleo Gordon, which that's based off of, for 3 years, and it wouldn't have been 3 years except for that I was one of those kids that didn't want to do their homework, and um, you know, there was just certain subjects that I loved, English, but I didn't love it. I definitely did not love PE, but we did that anyway because that was do it or else kind of thing. Um, but like science, history, and math, I really didn't like very much. I know addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. That's pretty much all I need. Oh, and decimals. Hello? My cat came down and he sounded like he's saying, hello? Hello? Like he's trying to figure out where his brother is, and his brother's not talking. So, I don't know. Drives me nuts when Sam does that, because Sam will come down and be meowing for something, but you can't tell what it is because Ben is probably a hard word for him to say. Although Ben said coral. It was very clear he was saying coral. And you would think that that would be a really hard word for a cat to say. But he really was. Um, because Coral was one of those cats that loved to hide. So then you're calling throughout the house, Coral, Coral, trying to figure out where the heck she is. And and that place wasn't very big. That was an apartment, and um, it looked like the inside of a bad trailer park trailer park trailer. I mean, because there are some very nice ones, but some of them look really bad. The ones with all the wood paneling. Some people love wood paneling, I'm sure, but I'm not one of them. Okay. Wait. One, two. Yeah, that's three, so this would be four. Okay. So my husband's game was saying yesterday that Captain Picard of the Next Generation Star Trek said something. And I'm like, I don't remember him ever saying that. I'm not sure. I can't say for sure because I don't have the best memory in the world. But I'm pretty sure that I have never heard him say that. And it's like making me want to go and put those in and see what is what with that. if one of these days I could have my own server, if one of these days, hold on. Sam, if I have to get involved, you're in big trouble. Okay. Um, Sam was fighting with Ben. Ben went to all that trouble to call him and was like saying Sam, Sam. I don't always understand it when he's saying Sam, but since it's such a easy word, I don't know, always understand it. But he's like going and trying to find his brother, and then his brother decides to, I'm gonna bite you now. Why? I want to ask you something, but I'm not saying it on stream. He said it's a brother thing. I wouldn't understand. Oh, I see. Oh, so these colors are reminding me of those orange popsicles with the white stuff in the middle. I think it's called an orange sickle. I don't know. I'll have to ask my husband if he remembers. Um, okay, I don't know if I'm right or not, but it sounded like somebody was going down the street listening to country music. A male singer, that's all I know. Get the vines out of my way one way or the other. I don't know why I'm thinking of it saying it so sinisterly like that, but anyway. Um, so in the chapter I'm working on right now, um, the they have gone to the Halloween dance, and now they're coming home. Well, while they were at the Halloween dance, the um the before they got to the Halloween dance, the um the like six punch bowls, or maybe it's only like two or three, but whatever. They have more punch bowls than they usually do because they usually only have one. Um, but um, they were all uh somebody added a special ingredient to every single one of them, so everybody that had the punch is now drunk because the water fountain didn't work either. And I never did write in the maintenance guy fixing it. I can't remember what they call him. Maybe he is the maintenance guy. Anyway, I didn't write that they fixed it or anything. Um, but knowing me, I'm gonna skip the rest of the school year. I don't think I do, but knowing me, I'll skip the rest of the school year and go straight to summer. Um, I do that every once in a while. Dang. Or like I'll have them go to the winter dance and then I'll have them go to the like I'll have them go to the Halloween dance and then the winter dance and then uh and then have something closer to the end of the school year. Maybe I haven't had anybody actually graduate in in my book. It's just, it's just we got to the end of the school year and we're going off on the ship, but somebody should have graduated um maybe on like have a thing um where they're in the locker room dressing into their graduation gown and the bad guy comes up and tries to get a kiss or something. Something like that. Okay, so we have 6 or 7. Wait, we have 1, 2, 3. I didn't fix that. I very almost want to watch this track too. I'm saying very almost because I really need to get my book done. If I can get the next chapter done, then I'll let myself have the rest of the day off. But I want to say it was like 6 pages, so I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. Anyway, I am definitely going to after I'm done with the chapter, I'm definitely gonna wait. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What? Oh no, it's not. Okay. We ought to end up with 6. I don't know if we're gonna end up with 6, but we ought to end up with 6. Yeah, we will. But I gotta fix this. Because I was sitting here and I don't know enough of the words to get in trouble for it. So I was sitting here going, uh, I was sitting here doing this, and all of a sudden, da 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 chorus, a chorus, popped in my head. I don't know if you can get in trouble for singing that song or having that song on your video because oh, there we go. Okay. Because I want to say it's a church song. At least that part of it is. Because then there was that part where it's like, where have you been lately? Or something like that. And I may not remember the words, but it's okay because you all can look up Sister Act 2 and find out exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm not really worried. So anyway, they're they're getting ready to go home. Ashley got her coat from the coat attendant, and I didn't actually have her put it on, but presumably she did. And maybe I did have her put it on. I don't know. Anyway, well, then Sean was waiting for Lucy, April, and Violet. And when Violet walks up, he goes, "Let's go, ladies." And Violet goes, um, something like, "Okay, but if we could get the room to stop spinning, that'd be great." So that was the end of chapter 42, and then the beginning of chapter 43. They're driving home. All of a sudden, Sean thinks he sees a rabbit in the road and swerves around it. Well, then there's um, sirens. He pulls over, and it's like, oh, great. Like, detention wasn't enough. Because I was right. They they were dancing, and then this boy Kevin walks up and asks if he can dance with Ashley. And Sean's like, I want to say no, but it's up to you. So, he's talking to Ashley. I want to say no, but it's up to you. Do you want to dance with them? And she goes, yeah, just once. And so she does, but then Kevin's trying to get a kiss on the dance floor, and um it's like he's so drunk he doesn't know what he's doing, kind of thing. So um so Sean goes, and he's got his own tied down sword at his side. You've seen um pirate movies where they've got the sword in the scabbard. That's that black thing that holds the sword. It's not always black, but most of them are black. I've noticed. At least in movies. Anyway, so he's got that at his side. Well, he unties it and pulls out his sword, and uh orders Kevin to back off or else. And you'll have to read the book to find out exactly how everything was said and everything, of course. But he rescues Ashley and helps her up, helps her dust off her, uh, her butt. I think it said rear end, because she fell to be sitting on the gym floor. You know how many feet go on the gym floor every day. You know what? I think we're gonna. So then that is gonna be here, actually. Yeah. Okay. And we're doing it this way because I think it'll be. Wait, fireworks duration. Oh, yeah, I felt sorry for the fireworks duration because it's not being used. it doesn't, it doesn't make the big beautiful boom, and like show a pretty color. It just goes up. That's all it does. So, I wish I could uh talk to Everbloom Games and have them help me with this. I think that'd be really cool. So when I finally finished building Disneyland, which obviously I'm not going to get to until later, but when I finally get to finish building Disneyland, it always takes me a really long time. I've set it aside for months on end, and then I get back to it eventually, and then I'll do something on it, um, and then I'll go back to it, and then I'll stop doing it for a while, and then I'll go back to it. It always takes a really long time. I just like I'll be thinking about it, going, I need to do this, and then I'll be like, but that's too hard to build. And it's always, always, always that um, Main Street is the thing that is the toughest to build. And I'm sitting there going, how can I do this? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That's got 5. We only went to 6. Oh, weird. Usually go to 7. Okay. Oh, might help if I, like actually made it to where it would work. Okay. Just making sure both sides are definitely, definitely. Nope. Working. Ready to go. Or, ready to go. What is with me? Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm really not trying to be mean here, but my husband forgot to put out the garbage can on Tuesday, so now we're working with an overly full garbage can for this week, and I was just thinking about it because the the garbage truck is so loud. Some vehicle was going down the street and it reminded me. But I'm gonna make sure that he puts it out this week. I think it'll be too heavy for me to move if he forgets. Okay. Yeah, we may have to have a special door that goes out right there just for that. Oh, dang. Eh, I don't know. I have no idea how I'm going to do that, but I may have to, come up with a special way to do it. Um, so some of this was if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but you know, trying to come up with conformity here. So we're fixing it. And I don't think we're getting to the high school today, but we're gonna sure try. Okay, so at the moment, just just for a moment, my head was hurting, and it's like I have not had caffeine today. What is up with that? Um, I went crazy. I literally went crazy yesterday, and um, okay, so we went to Costco for hot dogs. Um, okay, so I suggested it because I was like, you have to get gas anyway. You want to try again today because the other day I had not uh, bothered to transfer the money and my phone was on the charger. So um, I didn't have it with me when I realized. So he went and paid for it instead, and then yesterday I went and paid for it. So the whole thing was that. Oh yeah, that was kind of funny too. Um, so I went and put $3.22 in there and made sure that all of the other money was out of there. And I was having this nagging suspicion that maybe 322 wasn't quite enough because it was 323. And I was, uh, you know, we got to the register. Yeah, I guess you can call it a register. Anyway, we got to the like little self check thing for the food court, and we got it all rung up and everything. And then I'm like, it's telling me that my card isn't allowed at the um allowed in the store. And it's like, yes, it is. I've used it before. It's a Visa. Visa's accepted just about anywhere. Um, but it ended up that I was 1 cent short. So I went and got on my phone real quick, uh, transferred the 1 penny over, and um, we were able to purchase it. I What I did was specifically is that I transferred the 1 cent, and then I waited for a count of five, went and checked it again. It said 323, and I'm like, okay. So then I went and ran my card again, and it was like, oh yeah, okay, give me the receipt and everything. But I had Coca-Cola while we were there. And then when we got home, I had the rest of my cherry Coke because the reason why I needed it is no longer here, and that's really good. And yeah, I'm gonna put this over here this time. Anyway, so I don't need it, and the caffeine kind of gives me a headache, so I don't like it. Then what's this? White? Okay. And then, yeah. that. That. There we go. Okay, now let's put all of these in the spot that they're supposed to be. So I don't entirely get it, but there is a family out there that their cat's name is Flounder, and um, apparently she calls cat clothes a hug, and her mom was making her a Pocahontas, um, a Pocahontas dress, and I thought that was pretty cool that her mom wanted to make a Pocahontas dress for her, because that is her cat's favorite, Flander's favorite movie in the whole entire world. It has to be on 24/7. And, I keep wanting to say, why don't you set up a cell phone or a tablet that is playing it all the time, and then you can watch anything you want on the TV. But she goes and watches it on the she goes and sits there on her mushroom, um it's a mushroom cat chair thing. She'll go and sit on top of that and watch the movie. So that would not be good for those times, but or like if she had her own room in the house, you could have a special TV set up just to play Pocahontas. I think Disney Plus lets you do playlists. I'm not sure. I know YouTube does, but Pocahontas isn't on YouTube as far as I know. Did it again. Okay. Well, I was trying to do this building by memory, and I know that when you're walking in the hot sun during the summer, this building does seem really long like this. So I don't know if it's actually that long, but I made it as long as humanly possible. Um, Trying to, I went in and built the big part, and then, um, and then put in the like classroom type rooms, and um, it's the civic center, the community center, whatever you call it. And during one part of the year, it has the kids from all the schools come in, and there's a math fair, I think they call it. Like a science fair, but for math. And you don't have to come up with a project. You see projects that other people have come up with, like maybe you might see magnets, and this one and this one are um there's the one magnet and the other magnet. Well, if you go and drag those two magnets over to the other one, how many does that make? Three. But I don't actually remember anything because I was like walking around, and I was kind of trying to find, like our class didn't stick together. They just walked in the room and everybody scattered. And I am very much, um, like I've got a fear that I'm going to go somewhere that I'm not used to going to and not be able to get back home. Um, it's not as bad of a fear as like drowning or being the only person on earth for the rest of my life. Those, I know those are some crazy fears, but but seriously, I'm like, that those are some of my weirdest fears. And although I think if I had gotten left at the math fair, I could have just walked home and it would have been fine. Because my mom walked me everywhere, so uh, we literally walked everywhere. Um, so I pretty much knew my way around the area, and it was just by the library, so like I'm pretty sure I could have figured it out, or that I might have been able to go up to the bus stop and go, yeah, could you call my parents because I got left here at the math fair. I had that problem once. We went to the exploratorium, and I don't know if I got on the correct bus or not, but all of a sudden, like I remember being in the parking lot trying to look for my bus, and I probably couldn't even remember which one it was. And they're, trying to figure out how to get me to the bus that I needed to get to. And I finally did. Or at least I got on a bus. Like I got on a bus that I don't remember. I mean, I don't recognize any of the people, but or yeah, like I started to get on the bus where I didn't recognize any of the people, and then they went and I think took me off that bus and put me on another one, but I still didn't recognize anybody. I think that's one of the ones that I was more, um, like I had a dream about it and remember it more than I remember it. But I do remember um, that one time when we went to the exploratorium, we uh, there was a bridge, and you go over it the one way, and you get more life, and then if you go the other way, you get less life. And I didn't understand how it does that, or if it even really works. But I always tried to make sure that I walked on the walked in the direction that was going to give life. Because I'm getting I'm getting just a tad worried. My mom was 50 something when she uh no, yeah, I think she was 50 something. She might have been 60 something. But anyway, she wasn't very old when she uh went on her extended vacation. And um you know, I'm worried that you know that my life isn't going to be as long as I'm hoping it is. I mean, I would like it if both my kids found a nice, uh, you know, that my daughter found a nice Christian guy, and my son finds a nice Christian woman, girl, whatever, and they get married, they grow up. I mean, they date, they eventually get married, and have some grandkids for me to love. I would really love that. My son keeps saying, "Yeah, not happening," and I keep forgetting to ask my daughter about that. But that's what I would like to happen, and I'd like to be able to see those grandkids. I'd like to be able to, um, see the great grandkids. No rush, of course. I'm kind of thinking that somebody might mellow out if he had a girlfriend. 'Cause most of the time, he's very, very chill. I mean, not very, very chill, but he's you know calm enough to talk to and stuff. But every once in a while, Squibs gets in that mood, and anyway, um, so what's gonna end up happening in my chapter is that Sean swerves around the invisible rabbit. There's not really a rabbit there. He just he saw one, but there's not really a rabbit there. And because they all got drunk at the dance, and because the punch was the only thing to drink, and the school didn't have more money to buy punch, and for some reason I did not put in that they were offering to pay for more punch. Normally I would, but maybe it's one of those things where they've offered before and the school always says no, so why bother? I don't know. Um, but anyway, so he's gonna swerve around the invisible bunny, and and he gets pulled over, and he ends up going with the policeman, and Ashley ends up driving them home. And she's perfectly fine. Uh, while he's driving, she took a nap. So, so she wakes up, no hangover, and I don't know if that's even a possibility. I've never been drunk, so but she wakes up, no hangover, she's just fine. And and drives them home. Well, Sean gets taken to the police station because he's, driving drunk. Because instead of giving them a ticket like they normally would in America, um, the the police in fictional Ireland just take them in because obviously they were doing something bad, so they have to go to jail. It's kind of like it's kind of like on I mean, it's totally like on the Dukes of Hazzard. Doesn't matter what they do, they get taken in to the police station, and then Uncle Jesse has to bail them out. And if seriously, if Uncle Jesse had all that bail money that he's paid out over the years, he'd be a rich man. You bringing that old dinosaur down here? You bringing that old dinosaur down here? Okay. I'm just saying, we both get so frustrated with that thing. We need a new laptop. Well, then you better start talking to your parents about it, huh? Anyway. Oh, yay, it's 11. Okay. Um. So. So, obviously, since I'm telling you about parts of my story, I write books, and they're they're books about my pirates. But it's not just um it's not like your typical pirate movie like Pirates of the Caribbean or the movie The Pirate Movie, where it's all pirates and nothing else. They um the kids go to school. They have, certain events that happen during the school year, but they also go out on the ship and, in the island, they end up on this island and they have a adventure there too. So, or in Esperanza's party, they end up on her island. As far as I can tell, there is no island where I put that island, but that's as far as I can tell. There could be an island there, but it's a small island, and and she owns the whole thing. And there are, like, um, there's her and her three brothers and her two daughters, and then there's some villagers. So that's something I've never built. I was gonna, yeah, her island. No, no, no. I built her island. I just haven't put in I haven't put villagers in there. I did build her island because I just remembered the one time I had like a school and a well and all sorts of neat things. Yeah, because I had to build it. Um, the dance floor and all that, so I could figure out how to write the book. Okay, so anyway, my books come in hardback, paperback, and ebook. For me personally, they come in audio, but they're not perfect yet, so I don't want to go and like try to submit them to a thing and then, to a audio book maker, publisher, whatever, and because like I said, they're not perfect yet. There's little things where the person was saying something and then like in the middle of it, or I mean at the beginning or end of it, it says, like say boo, and because the other character was going to say Bugatti, it'll be something like that, but they just say like the first three letters. Anyway, stuff like that. It's really annoying. So, I got to go and fix things like that. Um, uh, Esperanza's party specifically, it's got a bunch of wrong voices on there. It just doesn't sound right. Um, I think I think I want to make Hayden sound less Scottish and more. Well, okay, he sounds Welsh because they don't actually have a Scottish accent, but Welsh was close. But I think I wanted him to go back to like a regular voice. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Anyway, so like still have an accent, but still have some kind of an accent, but um, like maybe an English accent instead because there's more English voices. But I don't want him to sound um not Casanova. I was sitting here and all of a sudden, Cowboy Casanova. I don't have the tune at all. Anyway, it popped into my head. Um, oh, what's his name? One of those guys that people used to love to watch back in the 50s and 60s, I think. Um, Thinking of Hugh Grant, Hugh Jackman. That's not anybody that I'm actually trying to think of. Um, Him that I can't remember his name. He played in the Invisible Bunny movie. Um, what's the Invisible Bunny movie? Harvey. Um, I think James Stewart. Doesn't sound right for some reason. Because a lot of people call him Jimmy, but Let's say it was James. Anyway, whatever his name is. Okay, no, gotta move those. So apparently we're going a little longer than I meant to today. Because like I said, I wanted to get down to the high school. But I'm still hungry, so... There we go. Okay. Oh, well, we're at the junior high. It's close enough. It's got high in the same, you know. Okay, so it's gonna take way too long to get down to the other end, and so okay, like I said, they come in hardback, paperback, and ebook. Pirate's Daughter, for hardback. Pirate's Daughter 26, Misfortune 26, Hard Times 26, Esperanza's Party 24, The Island is 25, Lessons in Love is 27. Unfortunately, my children's book, which is about my cats, Coral, is not available in hardback. It is available in paperback for $6. All of the others are $20 each. And Coral is $2.99 for ebook. Pirate's Daughter is $3.05 for ebook. Esperanza's Party is $3.05 for ebook. All the others are $5 each. If you're watching me on Twitch right now, please follow and chat. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Notification bell. Please get those valid public watch hours up. We need 3,000. We're getting there. We're at, last I checked, 1,231. So, we're getting there. And please buy my books. And I will see you in the next stream or video.